And really what I found out over the years is that somebody that is skeptical just has a lot of fear. And the way I look at it, and it's maybe not even their fear, they're all excited, like, tell me more. But their grandmother or their mother, or someone that's in their space that they're healing, that they're, wanting to take care of, is afraid. So they can only go so far. And so I look at it as a filament, like in a light bulb. So, you and I we're like at 10,000 watt filament. If we're a light bulb, it's stamped to 10,000 watts, and we can take that light because we're like, yeah, blow my mind, amaze me, surprise me. I'm ready for the light, the truth, and the information, and unconditional love.
1-0.
Hello and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. Today we're going to talk about two topics. We're going to talk about clairvoyance and we're going to talk about calling in your spirit baby. And they're so intertwined because when you are connected and you're a channel for extreme light to come through you, you can connect and create whatever you want in your life. I believe that if you have a desire to achieve a dream, God, Creator, Spirit, gave you that desire because you have the ability to manifest it. You never know the how it's going to happen, and you can have it. So today we're talking about connection, eradicating limiting beliefs, and how to call in your spirit baby. What is the process my guest is using to help her clients call in their spirit babies? And I also shared a little bit about my fertility journey and beating the odds. And I just want to give you guys hope, whether it is a baby you desire or anything else. Those things are around you in your vortex because I truly believe that you have the ability to attract them into your life and manifest them and make your dreams come true. And the process is love and light. Sounds cheesy, and I truly believe it. I believe that God, Creator, um, is love and light, and He's the watchmaker. He made you. So when you connect to that force that lives within you, you can be like Neo in the Matrix and bend reality and shatter statistics and shatter limiting beliefs and shine truly and brightly as you are. Tori Quisling is a recognized clairvoyant therapist and author for over 35 years and has been featured in The Today Show, CBS News, and more. Tori is also certified in rapid transformation therapy hypnotherapy method. She uses all her experience and skills to assist clients with fertility, anxiety, life purpose, past life regression, and more. Her readings and RTT sessions address and transform goals, purpose, relationships, health, past, and future. She teaches intuitive and psychic development in private classes, and she offers her services nationally and internationally on Zoom. Today, we spoke about how to become more intuitive and clairvoyant, how to increase your light and your power, fertility journey, and how to call in your baby, and also, again, her process to call in your spirit babies and connect with that spirit babies because they're there. And if you desire that, it's going to happen for you. Desire and take the right action and shatter your limiting beliefs and do the work. And yet it's possible. And now, without further ado, on to the show. Hi, Tori, and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I am super excited to have you here. And I know that this is going to be a very powerful conversation because I know you and you're amazing.
Aw, hi, Orion. It's great to be here on your show.
Yes, it's phenomenal. You're one of the most special, unique, spiritual, kind women I know. And you help tons of people. And it is my intention that this conversation is going to be super helpful for everybody that listens. I'm sure it will, because it's you. No
Oh,
pressure.
well, thank you. I enjoy talking with you.
Yeah. So before we begin, can you share with me one of your favorite childhood memories?
Childhood memories. Um, well, right now, my son, who's almost 22, is traveling on a little road trip with his friends. He just graduated college. So I've been thinking all about the camping days with my family and sitting
Oh,
around the campfire, camping in national parks. Just special times being with family.
that's beautiful. So you are a clairvoyant. How did you find out about it? Maybe you can share a little bit about your journey to finding your gift.
Sure. Yeah. So I do clairvoyant work, which is the ability to see the truth and communicate through visual communication, saying I'm seeing and I'm noticing, observing things for you, um, giving you insights and intuitive direction. So I started doing this when I was about 17. I was at the in Berkeley, California, and I learned all about the Berkeley Psychic Institute. And so I went there for a reading. And then a couple years after that, I went back and started to do their program, the Berkeley Psychic Institute program called the Clairvoyant Training Program. And so I ended up being so young there and getting involved in it that I ended up being a teacher there. And then I
Wow.
was a tour guide for Deja Vu Tours at the young age of like 23, and traveling to the Philippines to visit healers and Brazil.
Wow.
And yes, I was very young. So I was able to see energy, experience energy on incredible, miraculous levels, so that it's not a matter of believing in energy and spirit and healings. I just know it's true. Just I experienced all these things at such a young age.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I went on to be a teacher and of elementary students, which was very magical for a long time, and kind of like Harry Potter teacher. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of experiments in the classroom with energy, and we did sweat lodges. We just did everything that was adventurous.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was in Northern California at the time, and we could do things we wanted to do. It was a lot of fun. And then I let's see, moved to New York, became a psychic there, and um, had a business, and let's see, learned RTT now, rapid transformational therapy, so that I can go deeper for my
Mhm.
clients. So I still access and help people through my clairvoyance, but now I help them explore the subconscious so that you
As
can get
well.
deep healing.
Yeah, I think this is amazing. I think this is the perfect combination of knowing to do some, like systems into hypnosis, but also being so connected. Because when the clients are in trance state, you kind of go there with them, and then you see beyond. I totally get it. Um,
Right. I call it going into the weeds. Let's go in
yeah,
there and get to the core and the root
yeah.
cause of things. Hmm.
And there is also something really powerful about starting young. Because when I was younger, when I was 18, my mom gave me the two books, 18 or 17. I don't remember. The story changes. I mean, like my age changes with every time I tell the story. But somewhere in my teens, my mom gave me The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And she gave me You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And that opened up my heart to seeing beyond this reality, this matrix, and truly believing in manifesting miracles. And when you're so young, it's almost like you're more open to it. And you're not so jaded by life and trauma. I mean, some people have trauma from childhood. I did too, but you're still, your spirit is still open. That said, everybody can open up at any stage of life. And there is also, it's really nice to start young. So you grew up in Berkeley, which is a place that is pretty open to those ideas of clairvoyance and energy. But did you get pushback or some naysayers along the way?
Um, when I was in Berkeley, or say again.
Yeah, around your being a psychic, did you get people who doubted you or pushing against it?
Well, sure. This was the 1980s and 90s. And there used to be Louis Bostwick, who started the Berkeley Psychic Institute. This is in the 1980s. He would give lectures about "You Are Psychic" was the name of his lectures. And they would be in an auditorium, and people would come to find out that all these sensitivities that we have, and just connection to other people, feeling what they feel, matching everybody, is a psychic ability.
Mm,
And learning to find your space and things like that. So it was a brand new idea. And there was the psychic newspaper that was put out. That was like the one and only psychic newspaper that I helped edit and write with this as part of the Berkeley Psychic Institute. So everything was brand new. So of course, the media and skeptics would always be trying to attack the Psychic Institute, um, and to doubt it, and we would just call that media energy, with skeptic energy. And really, what I found out over the years is that somebody that is skeptical just has a lot of fear.
mm,
And the way I look at it, and it's maybe not even their fear. They're all excited, like, tell me more. But their grandmother or their mother, or someone that's in their space that they're healing, that they're, wanting to take care of, is afraid. So they can only
yeah.
go so far. And so I look at it as a filament, like in a light bulb. So, you and I we're like at 10,000-watt filament. If we're a light bulb, it's stamped to 10,000 watts, and we can take that light because we're like, yeah, blow my mind, amaze
Hmm.
me, surprise me. I'm ready for the light, the truth, and the information, and unconditional love. But a lot of people, their filaments are set lower, like 100 watts, 1,000
Oh.
watts of information, and they could literally blow their fuse. That's how I see
Oh.
people, as light bulbs. And that filament along the nervous system. And so people get blocked in their filament along the nervous system, and literally, if they need to be in agreement with their family and what their family believes in, they can't blow it out, they can't expand it, because then they go outside their family agreement. So people are in agreements how much light they can take.
Right. So what you're saying is the difference between being like 100 watts to 10,000 is a choice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. I mean, this is so true to everything in our life. Everything. The limiting beliefs are the blocks for everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's who you're healing. So someone might say, I really want to do this. And then they end up being angry after the reading. Like, no, because it's not even them. It's someone in their family, or someone that we call it healing somebody, when you take on their limitations. And when we're children, our goal is to not be rejected. So it really starts in childhood. That's why I do hypnotherapy, because everything starts in childhood. And so, if our goal as a child is never to be rejected, our family is the first people we don't want to be rejected by. So, if they're limited in how much they can hear, how much they can have of the truth, for whatever reason they can't handle it, then children will have to match that until they
Right.
have to rebel and resist and grow beyond their family. And a lot of times, being interested in psychic abilities and clairvoyance and intuition is your way of uh, busting through, breaking beyond the boundaries of the family's belief system. And that's the first. So a skeptic is going to be really reinforcing the family's belief system, which is just fear, the fear of the truth and the unknown, and wanting to have a group agreement, a tribal
Right.
agreement.
And that's one of the hardest thing to do, to break through a limiting belief like that, because limiting beliefs become our identity, and that means that you have to basically kill the old identity into and then step into a new one, which can be easy for some and super hard for others. So some people will, when it comes to anything in life, they will prefer to hold on to the limiting belief, and to their identity, rather than get the success or what they really want and dream about, because it's staying in your comfort zone, and you don't have to. That's why a breakthrough is called a breakthrough. You were literally breaking through something, and we have, like, I had so many breakthroughs in my life, and I still have so many breakthroughs, because as we shed some limiting beliefs, we also sometimes accumulate more. So it's an ongoing work. But I love what you said about the idea of, like, if anyone is listening wants to connect to their intuition or psychic abilities, I totally believe from personal experience that there is more to life than what we can see. I love what you said, that this is a choice. It's your choice to to think about how how much light do I want to have. And also in Kabbalah they call it a vessel. And they say exactly what you're saying. They say you have to expand your vessel to get the light of the creation. And if your vessel is contracted, like you said, it can actually damage someone, or he will be so blocked that there is no light coming in. So that's the work, right?
Yeah, so I guess that vessel and the filament idea are similar, that the channel that allows the light
Yes.
through. And that comfort zone that you're talking about that people are in, we call it being familiar, something that's familiar and it has the
Hmm.
word family in it. So, since we're raised by our family, we have no choice, no filter for the first 7 years. I think the first 17 years, but we don't have a good filter. So, anything in the family and their limiting beliefs become ours. We don't have a choice. And so we always move towards what's familiar.
Mm.
Like a little child, you'd want your little son to only stay with familiar, not walk off with a stranger. So it's a
Yes.
safety thing to be
Right.
familiar with the family. So the family has limiting beliefs like we're not good enough, other people can have it, not us. And then these things happen within your own limiting beliefs as a child. And yeah, getting out of the comfort zone is kind of like leaving your family, like you
Mm.
leaving the familiar, growing up. Yeah. And it is a breakthrough and a breakaway. Feels like, you're betraying your family when you make a change
Hmm.
and see more and be more. Hmm.
Yeah, and we're herd animals, human beings. We need to be a part of a tribe. So thinking that you're going to leave one tribe is very scary. And it's also a false belief. Just because you believe something else than your family doesn't mean that they're going to ostracize you. They're just going to get to love you regardless of who you are. And also, we are how many, like 8 billion people on the planet. There are so many tribes to be a part of. And sometimes, you love your family, and then you choose your friends and you choose your tribe, and you want to be around people that elevates you in your new gift. Also, when someone steps into a new gift, it can be really threatening to other people around them, because they don't like, I know her as her. I don't want her to change, because then maybe I need to change, or maybe I'm not going to be good enough because her light is now so big and I feel less than. That's also a reason why maybe people will try to drag you back to the familiar, and bombard you with, but science and statistics. Listen to those people that wear those uniforms and coats, and they're smarter than you and they know better than you, and they're on TV, right?
Yeah, it's all about control. It is. And it's all about energy, is what it comes down to. Energy exchange. People need your energy in the group. Hmm. And if you want to break the group agreement that you're a part of, even if it's the family, And these beliefs are, especially the limiting ones, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. I'm not enough. Other people can have it, not me. I'm different. I can't connect. All those beliefs are subconscious. We're not even aware of them. They're just
Right.
happening under the surface from
Hmm.
childhood. Yeah. So, yeah, the rebellious stage of the teenager is the important part of integrating these tribes, being willing to go against the familiar, the
Mm.
family.
Yes. Wow. That's so beautiful. So when did you know I'm a clairvoyant? I can see. When were you completely anchored in your gift and you knew, okay, this is real. I'm not imagining it. And I am playing with those like dimensions and psychic abilities.
Well, I was in the training school to do just that, the clairvoyant program at the Berkeley Psychic Institute. So we would practice reading several days a week and reading lines and reading people. And I have a lot of stories where I saw things and still didn't believe it. I would see something and the readie would start to cry because it was so true. But
Oh,
what
wow.
really got me was when we were in the trip to the Philippines. And June Labo was one of the healers that we visited. And this is back again in the early 90s. And which seems like yesterday, but I guess it was a long time ago. And he gave me a healing that was just incredible. So here I am, I don't know, I was 23 or whatever I was. And he just, so what these psychic surgeons do is they leave their body. So you say hello to them and do the business of it. And then they leave their body, and then they are someone else. You can see their eyes change, their whole persona changes, and you can see
Wow.
white around the fingertips. You can literally
Wow.
see, and they call it Christ force energy of Jesus. It's all Jesus energy, Christ force energy. So it's really beautiful, this really pure light. And then what he did was he just came up to me, and I had been asking to be able to see. I was like, I just want to see, but you don't say it out loud. You just think it for the
You have the
healing.
intention.
And
Yes.
he just came up and he smacked me on the forehead, which was a little abrupt. It was just like, boom, and it felt like an egg had been cracked on my forehead because this liquid poured down my face like egg yolk.
Wow.
It was so weird. And I was just, and we had several people watching, because we had 30 people on the trip. And this like liquid poured down my face. We called it ectoplasm because he would be sleeveless and whatever. And this stuff would just come out like this energy. And it poured down my face, dripped down my face, and my whole forehead opened up into this incredible light that was so soothing, so
Ah,
beautiful, and then it just expanded throughout my entire body. And he just stepped away, and then you kind of they just do this little cleanup thing, and you
oh.
like, wow. And so I was really changed, and then I came back from the trip, and Louis Bostwick, he was still alive at the time. um, we met for breakfast, he and his wife, because I was the director at 23 of the
Mm.
tours. And he looked right at me and he said, they opened your third eye. Wow, he saw it right away. And so it was just so confirming. It was just amazing. It was
Yes.
yeah. So it's
That's
it's
so
it's the
great.
Joe Dispenza talks about this too, the kind of explosion orgasm that happens uh, in the pineal gland. So it's really what he did. He would just went into my pineal gland, and it
So
is
cool.
like orgasmic. It's like,
Yeah. I think I was always somewhat open with my third eye and kind of magical. Especially when I left Israel and I went to Japan and I would be like, I love my life and no matter what like how much hardship I went through in the beginning, I would always like pray and I knew that my angels are with me. And I don't know, I was such a Pollyanna. I'm more jaded. I want to be more Pollyanna. I'm coming back to that, right? Um, but I was really like living my life that way, and then life happened, and things happen, and when you're so open, people take advantage. And I've been through the dark night of the soul, and I kind of closed off, and I think one of the people that like first opened my third eye. It was Donnie Epstein, and he does network chiropractic, and he's a magical being. When he was young, he couldn't see photos; he would see just energy signals, and he just touches you from the back, and your body goes into this like kundalini awareness, and you go into like different realms, and he's unbelievable. And he also works on Tony Robbins before he goes on stage for like 14 hours in front of millions of people. So I'm very lucky to know Donnie personally, and I love him so much, him and Jackie's wife. Yeah, such a great gift. So he was the first one that I think opened me to that level. And then I went to Oneness University in India, and I got it through a ceremony. I got a diksha, which is a oneness blessing from the monk, and it reminded me of what you said, where like the moment they touched my head, I was like gone. It was awesome. Um, and so I had like, different moments of awakening since. But yes, um, sometimes you need external forces, and someone kind of like to unlock you when you're like the fish in the water, and you can't see beyond. My
That's right. That's right. What it was always talked about at the Psychic Institute, and what I see it as is it's permission. It's being given permission to see. Because really, as children, we don't have permission to see. And we really, children don't need to be seeing psychically unless they're in danger. Then they've got to turn on all their psychic abilities to survive. And it's
mm,
premature. And so
mm,
when adults want to work with me and say, I want to open up my psychic abilities, well, the ones they have are just the ones for survival from childhood. So
wow.
they're like, ooh, I'm seeing danger. I see that problem. I see that. That's that second chakra, clairsentient danger signal that you want to have when you're a child. If you're in a violent household or a unstable adult, dysfunctional adult household, unsafe household, then you've got to turn up all those abilities, and they're not turned up properly because they're
Right.
usually from the second and first chakra,
mm,
survival and just clairsentient, feeling for safety. And so that's why a lot of people will tell me, adults, I'm a clairsentient, and they'll be so proud, or I'm an empath. Well, of course you are if you grew up in a difficult household to survive. So we got to turn those down and turn up the forehead. We got to get back to seeing, which is where we see, like you said, just see the Pollyanna. Let's just see the beauty in things. Let's see this light. And that's what you get to do when you're an adult.
yeah, because we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. And I totally believe that we're like, each one of us is like Neo from the Matrix. And co- when Neo comes to the psychic, and she's telling him, "You're not the one. You're probably not and he stops believing that he's the one, and it's almost like the universe is testing us. It's like, "You're not the one. Let's see if you got it in you to start believing that you are the one that can heal your life, that you are the one who can co-create, that you are the one who can open yourself to receive so much light that you light up everyone around you and create such major shifts in the world and in your world, and seeing yourself as significant and powerful enough to manifest your dreams and help others manifest theirs. Let's see if you're the one." So with the messages we got, it's almost like a test. You're not the one. You're not the one. This is not true. Hey, look at YouTube. Hey, go back to your YouTube shorts, which is something I'm getting healed from. Like, thank God, I'm slowly and but surely getting off of that, because I see how it damages my world. Like, it's totally like, so screens, I forgot it comes from a Latin world that means a mirror, and black mirrors used to be like dark forces. And we all are staring at our screen that are
That's
literally
right.
dark
Like that
mirrors.
show, Black Mirror, too. And the BBC, the British show, the
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Mirror. It's like the
I didn't want to
Twilight
see it. I don't like scary
Zone.
movies. They scare me.
Well, it's just like Twilight Zone
Yeah,
episodes
I
where,
know that scares me too. I'm like,
yeah,
Eh,
yeah, Black
just
Mirror.
looking at my screen and whatever
Absolutely.
comes up there disturbs me enough.
Well, it's
So,
true. We're not, basically, we get broken as children because the adults we're with are broken. It's not being good enough. It makes us easier to control if we're not good enough. Like you just said, change the world, express ourselves, be unique. There's a difference between when I was an elementary teacher, I would teach summer school for just the enrichment, not for the kids that were struggling, but for the kids that just wanted to learn. And so we did this whole simulation where they were rich children in castles, because the way children learn in castles, privileged royal children, is they do memorization, they do affirmations, they learn to discipline their mind by standing on one foot, we would do, and stare at the hand of the clock. Um, so we did all these activities that the royal children would do.
ooh, if I want to teach my son that, where do I find those resources?
Yeah, I will find it. It was based on a simulation somebody wrote, and then I recreated it. So I'll look for
So
that.
cool.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
so
it's
cool.
it's like the prince and princess simulation, and so they would just show up every day ready to memorize, and they had to memorize. The goal was to memorize as many, because getting your memory going is really important. It gives you self esteem, and like right now, I can't even remember phone numbers like we
Yeah, I
used to
remember two phone
growing up.
numbers, mine and my husband's, and that's it.
Yeah, they take away the memory ability, and that's our own ability to control our thoughts when you have affirmations. So I've got some that I can grab, the walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I walk into the promised land under grace. I'll say those things that I've memorized, and memorizing powerful prayers and affirmations is important. Louise Hay, you said, was a big influence for you. So that is really important. Yeah. So it keeps your mind, your attention is your most valuable asset. And
Mm.
so that's what the royals believed. So they could go out and, open up a country and do all these things. Now, the regular school system, the public schools, is for factory work,
Yes.
running by
It was actually
bells and
designed to make the kids factory workers and don't have independent thinking. If you go back to the origination and actually their mission statement and why they created the school
the
system.
industrial age. That's right. It was for
Right.
the industrial age. Yeah. Amazing, right? And so all of this affects the souls. I mean, just think, these little children with all this creativity, your little son, think of him, go into these buildings, and they are discouraged about themselves, competition, and feeling less than, not good enough, and yeah, it's quite interesting. It's part of the economy, just keeping them from work, because they can do work. When I was an elementary teacher, we did something called project-based learning, and we did the
Mhm.
straw, students and teachers, and repairing a watershed. So we would have our students, me and the fourth grade teachers, fifth grade teachers, we all went out in California to the ranchers, and we planted willows, thousands and thousands of willows for
Wow.
shade, so this fish would come back, because the cattle had ruined the sides of the river. And just within a year, we could drive by and see all the willows grown and the shade. So the
Wow.
children saw the work they could do. And this is at 10 years old.
So
So we were
powerful.
always looking for project based learning. And it was a really powerful program that we got to do in Northern California.
Wow, Tori, I can go with you in so many directions because you're so wise. And I want to get in another topic that you're working on that is super important for for this world, which is fertility and calling on spirit babies. And what are spirit babies? So maybe you can share a bit about how you got into this fascination with fertility and decided to help women with fertility, and what are spirit babies?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my book, Calling in Your Baby, which I wrote several years ago, based on just all my clients that had been interested. I had thousands of students that went through my school, the Center for Clairvoyant and Psychic Development. And what part of the lessons of what we would do is look for baby beings, they're called. In the Berkeley Psychic Institute, I was trained to always look for baby beings around, especially women that were raised Catholic, or they'd be inundated with these little cupids. Baby beings look like little cupids, and they're very feisty and they're very mischievous because they're us. When we wanted a body before we got here, we were a baby being, a baby spirit, around our mom, sometimes around our dad, but usually around the mom, because we know how, we use the mom to get in. So we choose our mom, we're around her, maybe even since she's a child, through her dolls.
Wow.
Yeah. um, and
How do we choose the how does the spirit chooses the mom, and how many baby spirits can be around one being, one human being?
Yeah, well, religion has a lot to do with that, like permission and requesting. Like in the Catholic world, a little girl born, there's apparently, I wasn't raised Catholic, but there's apparently prayers and an intention from the whole congregation that this girl will have children. In different religions, it's all about, making sure there's a lot of children coming through. Ooh, see, my ear just started to buzz. That's a
Mm.
spirit around me. um, and so, if you're many just Catholic, for example, it's kind of like when you're born and you're baptized, you come through, you're given a whole bunch of baby spirits and they follow you around. So there's a lot of encouragement to have children, have babies. And So you look like a juicy taxi cab, with your light on, everyone's just waiting to get in. You're ready through the dolls, through everything. So those people tend to be real fertile, you know, and because there's lots of baby spirits ready to come through. So they'll
Mm.
make the condom break or make you forget to take your pill, or whatever it is. So we will often warn them, like, hey, you got a lot of baby spirits around you, baby beings. So use something if you don't want to have a baby, because you could.
How what's the amount of baby spirits that can be around one person, one woman throughout her life?
Oh gosh, I mean, I want you, just, there's an infinite number that can
Really?
be
Oh,
around you.
wow.
And the way I look at it now, what I've developed in my rapid fertility program, or calling in your baby program, which it always has been, is to realize that when you're in the baby zone, this 1 minute you're just a woman enjoying your life and succeeding, through college, through your work, and exceeding in finding your mate, and then the next minute you're unhappy with everything because you have to have a baby. You're
Mm.
dreaming about a baby. You're triggered on so many levels that you can't have a baby. Feeling your body isn't worthy, triggered, you're not good enough, something's wrong with me. So this is the same for every woman I've ever worked with that wants to
Mhm.
have a baby. I call it the baby zone because it doesn't seem like there's any way out. It's very frustrating and depressing.
Do you believe that every woman that desires a baby have the ability to have one?
Absolutely, in some form or another. I mean, if they don't have the parts, or there's something that's been damaged in them for
Mm.
real. Often there's a feeling that you're damaged, even though the doctors say there's nothing wrong. It's called unexplained
Mhm.
infertility, where there's nothing wrong, everything's working. Then it's really about your womb protecting you from something it thinks is dangerous.
Right.
So,
So in most cases, every woman that desires a baby, in most cases, except from really like radical cases, I guess, like the womb is out, there is no womb anymore, or something like that. It's probably God gave the woman the desire because there is a way. So there is in Judaism, there is a saying that God brings the cure before the illness. So it's the concept that there is a cure and a way to solve everything. And I guess when God gave a woman this desire, it's because she's able to have it. That doesn't mean that the journey is going to be, you just sit and meditate and things happen. You have to do things in the physical world, and you have to, do the mental work and break through limiting beliefs of age and I can't and statistics and all that yada yada noise. for you to manifest your dreams. And because you have that desire, whatever it is, it's in your vortex, and there is an ability for you to manifest it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the desire, a lot of it isn't even yours. Women are mediums. Okay. The word trance medium, people have heard that. You can channel a spirit through you. So women are natural mediums. That's the womb, the female creative center, the uterus and the ovaries. Okay. Form the female creative center, which is a medium center. You can channel. And, so, uh, a lot of times your emotions aren't yours,
Mm.
and they are the baby spirit's emotions. And so when you're in the baby zone and you're feeling frustrated and tantrumy and impatient and like you forgot all your skills for waiting, right? As adults, we know how to wait. We've been in waiting rooms. We've had to do tests and wait for the results. Like this is what we do as adults. We wait all day long in lines, in the parking lot, whatever. But all of a sudden we forget how to wait and be patient. And we lose all patience. And that's the baby spirit's nervous system. And what I believe now is the baby zone, this level of impatience, frustration, tantrums, and everything, you're getting ready to be a parent of a child. Because if you can calm yourself down and you can comfort yourself, reassure yourself, distract yourself while you're waiting for your baby, you're in the waiting period, then you'll be a good mom because that's what you're going to have to do for your child. Yeah, it's preparing you. Yeah.
And how do we connect to our spirit babies? How do we call them in?
Well, I have a method that I do where, so basically, whenever you want to be clairvoyant, first of all, you've got to be amused. You can't see if you're serious. You go after it. So you got to be smiling. You got to be amused, like the Cheshire Cat, big smile. And then and that makes you curious. So also, when you want to see, you have to give context to what you're seeing. You can't just go, "Where's the baby?" Right? You have to create a container to see. Even if you want to see a grandparent that's deceased or anyone, you have to give a container for them to come into for you to have the experience with. And so to see these baby spirits, I use the container of a playground. Now, I was a teacher for a long time and a yard duty, so I know about these playgrounds. But you go to the playground, and if you're with a partner, you and the partner go to the fence like parents coming to pick up your child. So you get that feeling of them running to the fence, mommy, daddy, and you're there to pick up your child. So you go to the fence, and it's that simple. And you're there with a lot of curiosity, a lot of interest, just ready to see. And then you see who's running towards you at the fence. And it's a lot of times it'll be, I'll say, is it a boy, a girl, both? Maybe there's 5 kids running. Who gets your attention first? And then, so that's how you make that connection. And oftentimes, that grandparent or that parent that's deceased that you've been wanting to see, that's a great container to have them be there too. So you can make that connection. Hmm. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's how you make the connection. And then knowing where to find them and giving instructions to the babies, like going down the slide, which is your uterus. So I have this little system that I've created, a system of seeing. Anytime you want to tune into something, and this is the adult way to do it, the child way to tune into something is to just feel everything, pick up, get, I'm feeling, I'm sensing, I'm getting. That's child level of um, seeing. You're not seeing. There's nothing to see down there. So you have to come up here and go, let me see the playground and let me see where these children would be. I
Mhm.
find the playground really useful because then the children are busy. They're swinging, they're sliding, they're playing, and they're running. And many women that have worked with me have sent me pictures of their child at that 3-year-old age, 4-year-old age that they were
Oh,
seeing in the vision of the playground. And
how
they were
beautiful.
wearing just what they thought they were wearing, looking that way. Yeah.
Wow. And do so if a woman goes to that visualization and she sees spirit baby, um, and then like along the so time goes by, she's not pregnant yet.
Oh boy.
That's okay. That's your cutie cat. I like him a lot.
That's Sultan. Yeah. He might
Hello,
want out, but
Sultan.
I'm going to.
Listen, you gotta behave. We're talking about spirit babies. I guess he's so excited about spirit babies.
And speaking of animals, yeah, so spirit babies do come through animals. That's one of the things I recommend to a couple, to have a pet, because it becomes their baby and they
Hmm.
become mom and dad. Mom's going to feed you, dad's going to walk you. Pretty soon they're successful at taking care of that child, and then they get their confidence to bring in their baby.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great idea. So my question before was, so let's say a woman sees her spirit baby, and then she goes on with her life, and still nothing happens. Do spirit babies change according to her situation, like mental health, stress? Like maybe another soul will choose to come in, or is it like the same spirit babies that are still waiting there?
Anything can happen. There's no generic one size fits all, but usually it's familiar. There'll be the same spirit baby. And the other angle that I help women understand is going back to your own birth. So if
Mm,
you're interested in having a baby, I have you go back to your own birth around your mom when you were a spirit baby. So you
mm,
feel how real it is to be a spirit baby, and I take you back to a year before your conception, because really, conception starts as a thought in a mother's mind. It doesn't
wow.
start when the egg and sperm come together. That's that baby zone. I've got to have a baby. And any animal is the same way. They find their den, they build their nest long before the impregnation happens. There's a preparation. And when you're in the baby zone, you're in your nesting time.
Hmm.
So if you go back to being your own mother's baby spirit, you'll see that you were with her most likely long before, because there's an agreement with human beings. There's an agreement that has to be made. And the baby spirit has gotten to know you and
Mm,
knows what it can offer you. And so they show up as little children on the playground for you, but they're really whole beings, because when you go back to your own birth, you're still you in all
mm,
your glory and who you are and all your skills. It's just that you have to, be raised into this body that grows until you can express yourself fully. That's why childhood's so difficult, because you're you,
yeah,
but you're in this limited body. And you make an agreement with your mom, like, I'll be your
yeah.
best friend forever, if that happens. Yeah.
But so, what kind of advice or comfort can you give a woman who's going through this journey? Maybe saw her spirit babies, nothing happened yet, um, um, and like it's very difficult. Fertility journeys are very, very difficult. I had my own fertility journey where I got like 5% chance to conceive, and I had to go through a lot of actually connected with my son's spirit and got instruction for him, and he told me to go and do theta healing and past life regression, and I did it. I listened, and actually when he came to the world, like his character now is exactly the character of that spirit baby that I spoke with. Very assertive, very uh, yeah, very amazing. But I remember my fertility journey was, there were a lot of times where, I mean, I was hopeful, but there were a lot of times where it was scary, and even when I got pregnant, I didn't want to tell anyone because I didn't want to, something to happen if I'll tell somebody something, that those things. So, how can a woman feel more trusting, sexy, juicy, alive, vibrant on this fertility journey?
Well, what you just said, do that. Feel
To
sexy,
that.
more alive, vibrant. Because the first thing women do, so don't give up, is my advice. The first thing they do is they make themselves a patient, and they go straight to the doctor to find out the nitty gritty of the science of their body, which has
Mhm.
nothing to do with the baby or making a baby. um, and so really the minute you start to feel that baby zone, I want to have a baby, we then come direct contact with these limiting beliefs of childhood. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not worthy of this,
Mhm.
maybe I other people can have it, not me. And those are real limiting beliefs that affect you. So they can keep you from having all the juicy sex that you need to have. So the first thing you would do is just start to speak to your body and say, we're turning on the green light. We're safe now. Because most women that I work with, they're older because this is the first time they've decided. For me, I was older too because I was doing my career. We're
Mhm.
encouraged to do our career first, not have a baby first.
Right, it's such a double standard. It's like when you're young and you wanna get pregnant, they're like, "Oh, you have your whole life in front of you. Don't get pregnant. You got so much to do." And then, you hit your 30s and like, "Oh, you're too old now. 36, you're geriatric." I'm like, "What?"
It's very torturous to women. It's abuse to women, really.
Right,
And in your 30s, you are primed to have a baby because that's when you are an adult. You're not a child raising a child. You want to be an
right.
adult. That you're going to give this child a great childhood, and your body is juicy and it has all that it needs. But what happens is we go right to the doctor, and the doctor takes a picture, does the test of your body being dormant,
Mhm.
which it's going to be dormant when you've told it all those years, hey, we're going to be sexually active, but no baby, no baby, no baby, no baby. We even call it a baby scare, a pregnancy scare.
So we actually conditioned our minds for years and years to not have a baby. That's why it shows up as dormant on most tests.
That's right. It's a snapshot of your womb, which is another woman inside your body. Your womb is there to protect you. It is your Viking warrior, your womb. It's down there like a shield. And you've told it, no, we want to, get sexy and be an adult, but we do not want any babies. It'll ruin our lives. They have a lot of doctors, lawyers, women that have, it would ruin their career if they got pregnant. And they weren't even into the guy. They were just kind of having fun like we do. And so no pregnancy was the rule. And all of a sudden, it's just a thought in your mind, hey, this time we have sex, I want to have a baby. But the Viking princess down there, the shield, doesn't get the message. It does not. It's going to continue and to work for you and not let you get pregnant. And so the doctor takes the little test, and it's good news because it means that your womb has been listening. All those low eggs, low hormones, all that stuff, that just means that your body's been managing. Even endometriosis, it's the body, PCOS, it's the body doing what it can to keep you from getting pregnant. And as soon as you give it the green light, which is in a subconscious level, we can only speak to the womb on the subconscious. You can, through repetition, keep emphasizing you want to have a baby to the womb, and surround yourself with fertility symbols, and just getting really, really sexual. So what I tell women is, instead of studying like you're going to be a gynecologist, like these women know everything about hormones and levels and everything like that. They know
Right.
way too much unless they're a doctor. They just know way too much. So instead of studying that, the IVF process, all that, study tantric lovemaking.
Oh,
If
wow.
you're single, you're doing it on your own, you've got to get yourself sensualized and feeling sexual with yourself, and get a lot of touch. But study tantric lovemaking, and that's what you are an expert in. Couples that want to have a baby, they've got the joy of sex by the bed. They've got books
Yeah.
on it, tantric love videos.
Mhm.
That's what they're the expert in. And I'll hear from people that, oh well, we did it twice last month in my window. That's It's just not stimulating that the womb to know that you're interested in having a baby.
Absolutely. So that definitely If someone's listening is on the journey, so work with somebody that can help you on the mental aspects, like Tori, and also take care of your body really well. So every time you eat something healthy, it's a signal for your body. Oh, I'm getting my body ready. Go to acupuncture. They're amazing, acupuncturists and herbalists. I got a lot of support from acupuncturists when I was before my pregnancy and during my pregnancy, and I don't know how I survived without it. So you definitely want to treat it on all aspects, mind, body, and soul, all of it. Because you can have what you want.
I emphasize that having a baby is a spiritual experience way more than a medical one.
Hmm.
So, the minute you want to have a baby, or if it's been a little while that you've been wanting one, know that this is all part of the conception process, is
Yeah.
you getting used to the idea of being a mom, and you're growing and expanding yourself to have this baby, because you literally have to expand as a spirit, not just your belly expand, but you need to expand as a spirit to have this baby, because this baby is going to be a big spirit and require you to not have these tight limitations and hang-ups. So it's good to do some of this spiritual healing and work to prepare yourself to be a mom. Even I have women that are already pregnant and they're still feeling this edginess, so they still do the healing in preparation for the baby. Yeah. Because you said your son is big spirit. You had to expand yourself to bring.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm still expanding. I think motherhood is probably the thing that got me to expand the most ever.
Yeah, you exchange
Um,
cells with each
wow.
other. Like I said, my son is
Yeah.
traveling to Yellowstone. I feel like I'm in Yellowstone. I'm in Arizona. I feel like I'm in Yellowstone right now because my cells are in him traveling. It's just you're
Oh,
never the same, right?
that's so
You know,
beautiful.
just you just
Never.
have a part of you living outside of you, and it's you really have to have some tools to manage that.
Yeah, and I just want to share that I was a part of that very small 5% chance statistic. And in my mind, I chose to think 95%. Because who are they to tell me who I am and what I'm able to do? I mean, with all the good intentions, and doctors are amazing and all that, and I had to go through a C-section, so thank God for the doctors and all that. That said,
I like the doctors at the end for the for the birthing part.
That said, push the statistics away. You are not a statistic. You are, and like I said, in a world of I don't know 8 billion people, there is somebody out there that has your exact situation and is now holding a beautiful baby. And when I said,
Absolutely. I have people,
yeah, tell me.
yeah, I have people think of sitting in a stadium full of women, all that have had their babies through IVF, or they also went through, whatever they needed to, but they all have their babies. Hmm.
Right, they're all yes, yeah. So there is hope. There is hope, and you are the one, and you're Neo in the Matrix. And Matrix is another word for womb, actually, in Latin.
Ooh, good point. That's right. And yeah,
Yes.
the womb is 10,000 watts itself, and you just want to
Oh,
own it.
so good, so good, so good, Tori. I really love you. You're amazing.
Always good to talk to you, Orion. Always fun.
Yeah. Before we say goodbye for now, what are your three top tips to living a stellar life, and where can people find you?
Hmm. All right. Well, I would say stay in the center of your head. Come up to where you're neutral and you can see, take a look, stay curious and amused, and be in that state of expectancy for the good always. Even the mantra, if something happens, just say that's good, because it opens you up to what's good about that. All right. No matter what happens, that's good. And it opens you up, your crown and everything, to what's good. All right. And you can find me at my website, which is just my name, toriquisling.com. And I have my fertility program there. I also do RTT for just all other issues, and readings on the website, and classes teaching you how to be more clairvoyant.
Beautiful, Tori. Thank you so, so much for helping so many people and for being a light in the world. And thank you, listeners. Remember to stay in the center of your head and even say the mantra, that's good. Because when you say it's good, you create more good. And have a stellar life. This is Orion. Till next time.